Welcome to Submitting to the Alpha, a spicy paranormal romance web serial. Dive into Isabella and Roman's sizzling shifter romance and experience the thrill of toying with an alpha like never before. Join the adventure now. We hope you enjoy.
Chapter 50. Isabella. The thunderous echo of hundreds of paws hitting the ground followed me through the forest, all coming for me, all wanting to kill me. I knew that they would find me, and that they would, in fact, kill me. Riker was the one leading them, lying to me, lying to everyone about the rogues. He had countless alphas being tracked and hunted like animals, hurting them instead of protecting them, and I was about to be next. My heart beat against my chest wildly. Beads of sweat matted my fur. I ran faster and pushed myself harder, letting my wolf take control. She had trained for this moment forever, and although Roman didn't believe in me, although he lied to me to protect me, although I made the stupid decision anyway to join the Lycans, this was not how I would go out. I would not be stopped by a pack of rogues that I had been trained to kill. I would not be stopped by a man who betrayed us all for whatever selfish reason he had. The trees stopped any moonlight from hitting the forest floor, but I ran in the dark, focusing on the path in front of me, my self-made path, jumping over branches and running between trees. The rogue's faint, pungent scent drifted into my nose. Moon, goddess, help me, please. All I wanted was to see Roman, the only man that I had ever loved, the man that I wished I had stayed with weeks ago. This wasn't how I wanted my life to end. I wanted to see him one last time. A tree branch cut into my fur and I whimpered, but I didn't stop. I ran for another mile, sprinting right off of rogue territory and toward the familiar scent I had always called home. Mint. When the pounding slowed and became fainter, I paused behind a tree and shifted into my human. Blood spewed out of my side, and I put as much pressure on it as I could. I rested against the tree, muffling my whimpers with my hand. Then, when the rogues became louder again, I gathered all of my energy and ran, in my human form, to Roman's pack house. The next mile was longer and harder than the miles I ran through rogue territory, but I trudged on through and let out a cry once I was 50 feet to Roman's property. Pain shot up and down my side, making me dizzy, making my vision blurry. Derek, one of the border guards tonight, caught my arm before I fell to the ground and mind-linked Roman. Rogues. I stumbled out of his grip toward the pack house. Roman. I wanted to see Roman. I needed to see Roman. I loved Roman. After throwing the back door of the pack house open, I sprinted into the room, naked and covered in a mix of blood and mud. I couldn't believe this was happening. What was all of this for? Every single day that I spent getting to know Riker was all a lie. Roman, I shouted. Roman, my Roman. A light turned on upstairs, and someone shuffled around. I sprinted up the stairs, taking 2 at a time. Roman appeared at the end of the hallway, rushing out of his room and wearing nothing but some sweatpants. When he saw me, he hurried to me and pulled me into his chest. Isabella, what's wrong? Rogues, I breathed out, glancing out the window. Rogues, they're coming. My first instinct was to kiss him, so that's what I did. I pressed my lips to his, feeling comforted in the feeling of him, wanting him and wanting us, and hoping that this wasn't the last moment that I would be with him. He pushed me away slightly. You're covered in mud, Isabella. He gazed down at my body. And blood. You're hurt. What? They're coming to kill me, I said. I knew that they would try to kill me, that they would try to take this whole pack out with them. And again, this was my fault. I should have run to the Lycans. not put Roman in more danger. But I wanted him. I needed him, and I didn't know who I could trust anymore beside him. If Riker didn't know who I was before, he knew who I was now that I ran directly to my mate, the man he hated, the man who hated him. Roman furrowed his brows together, then his ears flew back, hearing the howls of the rogues. They were approaching the borders quickly. My stomach tightened. Roman's eyes glazed over as he spoke with his warriors through the mind link. When he turned to me, his teeth had lengthened into canines. His eyes were pure gold, and his minty scent was stronger than ever. Why are they here? I grabbed his hand and squeezed lightly. Because I know why they took your sister. I know how they did it too. I brushed my hand against the side of his face. You were right, Roman. You were always right. What do you want me to do? He asked. It was such a simple question, and I knew exactly what he was planning to do to that man when they caught him. I grabbed his chin, pressed my lips to his, and pulled away. Be that alpha that I've always loved. Lead this pack. Kill them. We're not ready to take a whole pack of rogues alone, he said. He pulled me down the stairs to the door. The forest was dark, yet so damn eerie. You're going to lead us, Isabella. He clenched his jaw and turned toward the woods. Now, I'll ask again. What do you need me to do? Roman wanted me to lead. The thought made me feel butterflies, but I couldn't think about them for long. I tapped into the disordered pack mind link, trying to sort through the 1,000,001 things being said in it. Give me the damn strength to figure this out, moon goddess. After stepping into the forest, I gulped. Don't attack them, I commanded through the mind link. Roman and I walked further into the night to see the whole pack of warriors standing at full attention in front of the pack house. They're here for me. I stepped forward, but Roman grabbed my wrist. What are you doing? What I need to do. Trust me. I removed myself from his grasp. You want orders? I order the whole pack to stand down. Don't attack unless I tell you to attack. The warriors parted for me to walk through them. Riker stood at the edge of the forest, watching and waiting for me, with the whole pack of ferocious rogues behind him. He stepped into the moonlight, but none of the other wolves moved. They all stood there, staring, and I stepped toward him. He took a defensive stance, not nervously, but cautiously. I already contacted the Lycans, I said. They know where their hideout is. Nobody spoke a word, and then he stepped forward again. You're lying. You don't intimidate me, Riker. My nails lengthened into claws. Is Michelle at that rogue's place? I asked. He tensed, his jaw clenched. How do you know about her? My teeth lengthened into canines. Or did you kill her? Stop. His voice was low, and he was shaking with anger. Michelle, the woman who used to be a Lycan before me, the woman who you let stay in your pack house, the woman you marked when she was going through heat, the woman who gave you a child. He growled. It was all inside of your desk, everything that I needed to figure it out. I shook my head and actually let out a laugh. You know, that's not even the funny part. The funny part is that she tried to kill you. My fingers brushed against the side of my neck, mimicking the scar on his neck. Too bad she didn't succeed. He shifted into his wolf and ran at me, sprinting full force. The wolves behind me got into their stance, but I didn't move. Instead, I let him leap in my direction, and then I swiped my claws right on his scar, the weakest part of him. They cut into his skin, shredding it almost instantly. He leapt back. His wound was bleeding profusely, and I held my side tighter to stop my blood. You always told me not to fight when angry, Riker. You should have listened to your own advice. I shifted into my wolf and sprinted at him. The difference between him and I was that I wasn't angry. I was a protector, born on the wolf moon to keep people safe. And that was what I would do. Leaping at him, I latched my teeth into his shoulder and somersaulted over him, taking him with me. Riker sank his teeth into my arm, and I howled. Roman inched his way closer and closer to me, and when he heard me cry out, he shifted and snatched Riker by the neck. Like they had done in the hallway a few days ago, they fought, but this time claws were scratching, blood was spewing, flesh was flying. Roman's pack started for the rogues, though I told them to stand down, but the rogues wanted no part in a war they were bound to lose. They ran through the woods, and Roman's pack followed. Before I could react, Riker bit into Roman's thigh and tore a hefty piece of flesh right out of it. Roman shifted back into his human form and cradled his leg. My heart raced, and I growled loudly, sinking my teeth into Riker's thigh and tearing his muscle out of it too. A thigh for a thigh. Riker shifted into his human, stumbling into a tree. I bared my teeth at him and jogged to Roman, who struggled to stand. After shifting, I pressed my hand to stop the bleeding, and when I turned back to Riker, he was gone. Roman shook his head, standing strong and trying to follow him, but I knew that it was too late. I wasn't leaving Roman like this just to chase Riker. We would destroy him tonight, but not before finding our friends.
You've reached the end of this episode. Thanks for listening. To get up to 4 weeks additional uncensored content, subscribe to the podcast at reamstories.com/Amelia Rose Audio. Due to content restrictions, explicit sex scenes will only be available through Ream, but if you'd like to continue listening to my free episodes, make sure to hit the follow button to receive updates.